Hello, I'm Anime Viewer 66, and today we're going to be taking a look at Saga of Tanya the Evil. A bit of an unfair name if you ask me, but we'll get more into that in a little bit. For now, let's go into the plot, shall we? The plot of our story starts off in Japan, where we see a Japanese businessman doing his everyday thing, firing people for doing a stupid job and all that. For totally legitimate reasons, I should add, but he's still kind of a jerk about it. But during all this, he one day is walking home from work, and one of his former employees pushes him in front of a train because he fired him the previous day. Yeah, so this guy isn't exactly having the best of time. But right before the train hits him, time freezes. What's going on, he wonders, and all such. And then, God introduces himself to the Japanese businessman, and he says, listen, you are just like one of the worst, like seriously. And this whole world's kind of bad right now. So I'm going to give you this one chance. You can tell me, why do you think I should allow you to be reincarnated and all this? Why should I even give two bits about you? And he basically said, well, I don't even believe that you are God because there's no proof that you are. You could say you are, but what proof do you have? You may have power, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're God. For now, I shall call you Being X. And this makes God very angry at him, like really, really angry. And so they have a conversation, and the conversation basically adds up to humanity doesn't believe in God much anymore because they have science and all that sort of thing, and their needs are taken care of, and them not believing in God is just sort of a byproduct of that. And God basically says, okay, I'm going to give you one more chance, just one more chance to prove yourself worthy of my love and all such. And so he reborns the child, or the man, as a child in a parallel world during World War One, in an orphanage, in a nunnery, and the body is that of a little girl. Yeah, basically, he made it so that he was in the worst point possible and basically had to believe in God. But does he? Well, as it turns out, this just makes the new little baby Tanya even more angry at being X. Yeah, so basically, there's a couple of things that happen here that are sort of stupid. For one, being X allows Tanya to retain her memories from her previous life. Why? That pretty much guarantees she's going to be out for revenge. Also, and this is probably the biggest one, he puts her in a body with unbelievable magical power. Like, okay, we learn later on that a lot of that actually comes from being X, which is a whole different can of fish. But the point being, she is born into a body with incredible magical powers. You would think that if you wanted her to believe in God and all that, you would put her in the worst situation possible and in the weakest body possible, which granted, he did for the most part, putting her in a war zone during a different version of World War One and all of that, but to put her in a body that has incredible magical power, kind of not thinking the whole thing through. But that's not all that the whole thing went downhill with. There's also the fact that Tanya, once she gets old enough, decides she's gonna join the military. When I say old enough, I mean like 12, because apparently the Empire has low standards when it comes to soldier age. But whatever. They bring it up a couple of times that it is kind of weird that she's so young and in the military, but hey, at least they don't ever question a woman in the military, so progress, I guess? I don't know. So yes, after she learns she has magical powers and goes into the military, she quickly rises through the ranks, like you do. And the rest of the show is basically just a cat and mouse game between Tanya and Being X about Tanya going into battle, Being X making even more challenges for her and giving other people incredible powers and whatnot. And it basically being just one big ha ha ha, I am victorious. Oh wait, now some other stuff is happening. Ha ha ha, I am victorious. Oh wait, now some other stuff is happening. On and on and on. But it's really entertaining, so there's always good on that. And also, throughout this, Being X gives her another power, a sort of divine blessing, if you will. Tanya can be able to do a prayer, a pretty long prayer, and it gives her like OP magical abilities to destroy her enemies with extreme prejudice and all that. But she does these prayers very, very begrudgingly. As for the art style and animation, the only thing the animation really stood out is when they had their big dog fights. And the dog fights were basically every mage battalion or whatever has different sort of flying devices that allow them to soar through the air. Some are just like boots that have the magical ability into them, and some are like horses and whatnot, like mechanical horses and everything. The point I'm trying to get is the flying gear is really cool, and the dog fights they have in the air are really cool with them and whatnot. And as for the art, all the characters are very like standoutish. Like they do look like if you put them against some other anime characters from a other show, you would be able to pick out, yeah, these characters are definitely from this show because they have such a unique sort of look to them. But the main credit I give is to whoever had the job of making like Tanya's smile. Because seriously, that's some Maleficent level evil grinage. Like that's something to put Light Yagami to shame. It's freaking amazing, and I love it. And now we come to the big thing I want to talk about, the fact that despite the name of the show, I don't think that Tanya is all that evil. What? How can you think that? She, like, killed a ton of people. She made those guys at the beginning of the episode just, like, die just because they disobeyed her orders. I mean, come on, that's pure evil incarnate. And she kills people left and right for no good reason except that they might be an enemy in the future. How is any of that justified? Well, thank you, Canada, for being my willing straw man once again. Your check will be in the mail. But the reason I don't think that Tanya is evil is because, yes, she is greedy and self centered and does things for pretty horrible reasons at times, but everything she does is done during warfare and she doesn't break any laws. It is made pretty clear the fact that she herself wants just to live a peaceful life. That's all she wants. She wants to be able to live in a life that is just like, hey, I wake up, I do what I want, it's peaceful, it's good, I don't got to work too much, it's all good. That is what she is striving for. Now, yeah, she may take a bit more like gleaning satisfaction in her work as a soldier and even a bit too much, but I would argue that that might just be the like crushing blow of going to warfare weighing on her mind. But overall, I'm going to go ahead and mention one particular thing that happened from the first episode, so with no major spoilers or anything, so that I can dissect why I don't think what she did there was evil, if you will indulge me. In the first episode, during combat, two of her subordinates decide to go against her direct orders. After the battle is over, she reprimands them. She basically says, okay, I have to punish both of you, and the way I'm going to punish you is to send you to the rear. You'll be safe, but you won't be able to like rise up the military hierarchy as fast as you would if you were here on the front lines or whatever. Which I would argue is maybe not as true as she might think at that point, but we'll put that aside for right now. Point being is she was going to put them to a place that was safe and secure and was not dangerous whatsoever. The only thing that would have hurt them is their pride. That's it. But they say no, no, we should have the right to fight for our fatherland and to be able to die for it and all that. And she's like, okay, if you want to die for your homeland so badly, then have at it. Die. So she sends them to an area that is almost guaranteed to be bombed. You may consider that evil, I consider that to be practical. You can't have soldiers that are just disobeying orders willy nilly and is going to get a bunch of people killed by doing so. She tried to give them an out and they didn't want to take it. That is all there is to it. You can disagree all you want, but that's how I see the particular situation. With all that said, I give this show 5 stars out of 5 and the award for the best show in the winter season of 2017. It was a blast to watch all of these episodes, and I really, really hope there's a second season because the ending was set up for a second season, and I hate when shows say there's gonna be a season 2 and there's no season 2. So here's hoping, everyone. Until next time, I am the Anime Viewer 66. Thank you, and good night.